I'm still like, what the fuck? Every time I see Ben Stiller, I'm like, what? That's not the same Ben Stiller that I know.
It's the same one, man. It's the same one that played. Oh, what did he play? Tony. What was his character's name in Heavyweights? You remember? Tony.
I don't remember.
Something. I don't know. That character that was great.
Yeah.
Soprano.
That's it. Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
He played Tony
Romo?
Soprano. Yes. So,
The
anyways,
Tiger?
welcome back to Not a Strong Start, a movie podcast by three filmmakers that love to talk television, love to talk movies, love to talk Severance, and occasionally one of us likes to wear Hawaiian shirts. So how does it go, Chuck? Also known as Mr. Freeze, because every episode he freezes. So let's see if we can actually go through one episode where he doesn't.
What?
And he's frozen.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Anyways, I am your host, Meister, Daniel de Sangre.
I'm Jose Ramos.
Chuck.
As you can see, by my name, I go before Chuck.
Every time. It doesn't just apply to the show either.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
I go first.
He got dibs every time.
Dibs. I just said him on dibs.
Yes. So now we have our current events.
We had a couple of major movies that got greenlit for their sequels.
Mhm.
Well, Batman got greenlit for a sequel, so the sequel's coming. And then Ghostbusters Afterlife also got approved for a sequel. So we also got that one coming down the chamber. So it's those are two that I'm looking forward to. I really enjoyed part ones of both of those.
Nice, yeah. I did too. I thought Ghostbusters, it was really cool that Ivan's son directed it. I thought it was like a good setup for him because he's been pretty steadily building up a pretty good directing career, man. I like what he's doing, I think one of his first movies was Juno, right?
Yeah, I think
Was that
so.
his?
Yeah, Juno and Up in the Air, I think, with Clooney.
Up in the Air. Yep. He did that one
good.
too.
Jason
But,
Reitman.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jason Reitman. And I thought the movie was it was really good. It was a really good kind of follow-up sequel, way better than the female version one. Not gonna get into it, but
that one doesn't exist. This is something we've been seeing a lot more over the last year, which is actually different than the past. Do you remember you would watch a movie in the theater, or if you would just miss it and it'll be out of the theater, you would have to wait like months before you can catch it and go and try to get the DVD or something like that. But it's like, especially over the last like year and a half, that time frame between coming out in the theater and like going digital and coming out digital is actually short. Sometimes like a month, sometimes like 2 months. So they're coming out really quick, especially if someone doesn't catch it in the theater. So I thought that was, I remember when they announced that Afterlife came out digital, I'm like, already? I just saw it in the theater.
Yeah. Your movie theater seat was still warm.
Yeah, I literally just walked out. I used the same popcorn to watch it digital.
Yeah,
dude, that's how I felt
Batman,
about Batman. Yeah,
it came out in March, right? The Batman.
Yeah, dude, 6 weeks, right? Wasn't it literally 6 weeks, and then it came out on streaming already?
Yeah, it's crazy. Pretty awesome.
It is crazy, Charles. It is crazy,
and it's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. So in this week's episode, we want to talk about movie collections, because it's not just, we had before they had it on, what was it, cassette tapes, VHS, then they tried Laserdisc, then they went to DVD, Blu-ray, and now digital. Seems very rare. It's almost like a relic now when people actually own movies.
Yeah, you forgot about Betamax, but yeah.
That was before my time, Charles. I don't know about Betamax.
Jose's like, no, I don't remember either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dan on that. I don't know.
Yeah, Dan, what's he talking about?
I was saying, you also forgot the old cardboard box. You cut it out and like act a movie behind it.
Some of the best performances actually came out of that, if I could say so myself. Yeah. But anyway, so we want to kind of get into that, talk about the nostalgia behind it. Is it good? Because I know as things started becoming digital, a lot of us film heads were like, man, no, like, you like having your pack of movies, you like going through them. There's the whole nostalgia of Blockbuster. Going digital, it removes so much of that. But there's a lot of positives and pros that come from that as well. So
yeah, what does your guys' collection looks like? Like what what does your movie owning collection look like?
Well, if I
I'm
could speak for Charles, I'm gonna say 98.2% of his movies are porn that he owns.
no, Dan, it's 98.5. Um,
Sorry.
I probably have, I'm looking at them right now, a few hundred Blu-rays. And before that, like I had a shitload of DVDs that I think I just threw out and gave out and whatnot. So, and what's funny is all these movies that I have on Blu-ray, I ended up buying them on digital anyway. So
All of them? All hundreds?
pretty much all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I love having them, and I know we'll get into it. Like even like books, like I know Jose does a lot of digital reading, and for me, I like the hard copies. Like I have to get them. I want them. I want to look at them. I want to feel them. But with movies, I kind of was like, I gotta put it in. I gotta turn on the PlayStation. You know, like with digital, I'm just like on my phone, on my iPad, on my Apple TV. Like I haven't bought like a Blu-ray in like years, dude. So
So you said having to get up. I immediately thought Charles complaining because it's the cardio that he has to get up and do. He doesn't want to get those steps in. I get it.
dude, it's a process, man. It's a process. Getting the movie, which one is it, and
Setting the tone.
the way I am, I'm gonna open up like a Blu-ray of like some, and it's another fucking movie in there. I'm gonna be like, fuck, like why did I do that? You know, so
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Dan? What does your collection look like?
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. So it's like I used to have, when I was way young, we used to have a bunch of VHS, and we used to do the where we tape over them, and you used to have like 3 or 4 movies that we'd, do that. But then eventually, I started having like a crap load of DVDs, and then of course Blu-rays. Then I've gotten rid of about maybe 2/3 of them. They're either packed up in boxes, or I just don't use them anymore, man. So now I have like a whole bookcase that looks like that's just filled with a bunch of DVDs or Blu-rays, and it's just more of a conversation starter now. So if I ever go to people's houses or like parties or anything, the very first thing I really honestly do, especially for people that I don't know, I always go to their DVD collection and I just start browsing it immediately. That tells me so much what I need to know about the person is what they watch and what they actually spent money to own. Yeah. How about you, Jose?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. I used to collect a lot, like high school, college. So like I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DVDs in those old CD cases. So I've got like, 2 or 3 of those like 200 holding like cases that I still have in there. How often I open it in the year? No clue at all. Yes, I bet once in a while I'll like pop it up and be like, what's something old that I can watch that in there. So yeah, I have that, and then maybe 100 or a couple hundred like digital movies, but that's like the extent of it. I used to own VHSs when I was in high school, but those didn't travel too well, so they ended up either given away or sold or turned in. There used to be, I think by where I went to school, there was a video store, and you can turn in like some old VHS tapes and turn them in and get like DVDs.
VHS became kind of such a relic now where you have some people that love owning it. Like we have a buddy, Kevin, who owns a VHS, a VCR. He actually he likes watching it old school. It reminds me a lot of those music heads that love listening to vinyl. There's just something about it that kind of has that little extra little sound. It's that little scratchy sound. It's the same thing with VHS. So when you watch VHS, it's not crispy clear, right? You get a little bit of those tiny little glitches, almost like film to some extent. And yeah, man, I mean, it's a relic now. That's kind of where VHS is now, which just helps you. It makes you feel old. Doesn't it? It kind of makes you feel old. Tell us about that, Chuck. Because I mean, you sit there and you start watching a bunch of VHS, and now you're in a position now where there's 20-year-olds that are like, what are you talking about? Like they have no idea, sort of like the beta tapes. They have no idea what you're talking about. And it's like several generations old to them. It's not just outdated.
Oh no, because they won't even know. First of all, I'm going to take this shirt off. First of all, even like DVD,
there goes the ratings. Here we go.
Even like DVD.
We got Magic
but-
Mike in the thing. Magic Chef.
But I was gonna say, did you guys have a video store? Like your video store that wasn't
Oh, yeah.
Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious, what was it called? Do you remember?
The main one that I had, it was where I got most of my collection was when I was in college. It was called Movie Gallery.
Movie Gallery.
Dang,
Yeah.
man. I don't remember the name of mine.
Yeah, I had one. It was the main street, the cross streets were one of the cross streets was Osborne, so it was actually called Osborne Video.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, it was so dude, I loved it. And they would give me posters, because I was there all the time,
Yeah.
renting movies and whatnot. But they also, I don't know if you guys had this in your video store. Did they have like the porn section?
Yeah. No, we know
They
you
had the porn
frequented it.
section,
Chuck.
like a curtain, and I would be like,
Yeah.
I was always going with my mom, so I was always like,
Crawl to the ground, or you're
Let's
just
get
hoping
there.
somebody.
yeah.
You're
I just want
blowing
the
on
cover.
curtain.
I just want the cover. Just give me the cover.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I just want to see the cover, Mom. I swear.
Show me a nipple. Show me a nipple.
And but a couple of times I kind of went in and it's like all warm and musty in there, and I'm just like, what's going on in here, dude? But anyways, yeah, that was a good video store.
Oh,
Anyway,
it did, man. And there was something so cool about that feeling where you'd go in there, which a lot of people associate with Blockbuster too, right? It smells,
Yeah.
but it smells in a good way.
yeah.
It smells like cassette tapes. It smells like movie posters. It smells like musk. So there's usually like a little 17-year-old pimply faced kid that worked behind that will try to give you, his recommendations on movies. And sometimes they were good. Most of the time, they were shit. And I was like, dude, don't tell me what it is, Zach. I don't want to watch that shit.
Yeah, and it was every Friday. Every Friday, the new movies would come out to rent. Dude, I was there like at 9 in the morning, and I'm like, what do you got? Because even like back then, I had no idea what movie was coming out when. If I saw, Batman Returns, in 92 probably, like I had no idea when that was coming out. I would just go show up one Friday, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Batman. They're like, nah, it's all rented out. And I'm like, the cover's
Dude, that
right
was the
here.
worst.
They're
That
like,
was
yeah,
the
we
worst.
forgot to take it down. I'm like, fuck.
It's true. It's true what you're saying, Chuck. Because I remember it's like the movies weren't as easily accessible, back in the day. So it made those Fridays or those weekends an event. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to the video store. We're gonna find out what comes out, and we're gonna rent like 3 movies or 4 or 5.
yeah,
And then your mom says, no, only 2 movies. That's all we can get right now. And then you get angry and you say something wrong, and then that gets cut down to 1 movie because you were too rude. Yeah, but anyway, it was like an event.
Yeah, those like, you want 2 movies or you want 1 movie and dinner? And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, oh, I'll take 2 movies. I'll have an air sandwich, like
I was gonna say, just I'm full, thank you.
I'm good. But yeah, same thing with the DVDs when they would come out every Tuesday. So every Tuesday I was like at Best Buy, like I'm like, what's coming out, and actually I even remember too with 9/11. I was out there. When people ask, where were you at in 9/11? I was at fucking Best Buy buying Training Day and Snatch. So I was like, that's where I was, dude.
The movie Snatch.
That one too, yeah.
It was all inclusive.
I was like, I was picking up Snatch, the movie too. as
Yeah,
well.
man. I remember in that time I was in art school. I was in high school and I was in art class. I was gonna just doing art, and I saw it and I was like, what the fuck?
Art
That was
school.
crazy. Yeah, 9/11.
Remember Dan?
Let's
Remember
not
Dan was in art school. Were you
Classic,
dancing
sir.
like Jose too?
Yes, I want to dance with somebody.
Fucking
Yes.
nerds.
Fucking nerd.
I will say this though. For a while there, I had to start moving to other video stores because I had racked up too many late fees at certain Blockbusters. So it was like, oh, I can't go to that Blockbuster anymore. I can't go to that Blockbuster anymore. So I did have to keep switching. Those late fees were ridiculous.
Dude, we had one that was called Hollywood Video, and we rented it was a Super Nintendo game. It was Star Wars, the pod racer game. And they closed down. We rented it, they closed down, and I was like, fuck yeah, we got a free fucking game. Then they sent us a bill for $35 I had to pay. And I was like, how? You guys closed down? How am I supposed to turn it in?
Who's this money even going to?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, come on, you fuckers. And the game was okay, but it wasn't worth $35.
I remember once I had a friend, his uncle was like, hey, I'm about to cancel my card. So let's go over to Blockbuster and let's just rent a whole bunch of shit. Rented it, put the card, and then just canceled it and kept all the stuff. So all he paid was just the initial rental fee and got to keep all the movies.
Damn, that's genius, man.
I had movies that were so late, they were like, just fucking keep it and send like $50. And I was like, all right, I guess. It was just the fees were so like, I'll just sit on it for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I should have just bought this.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it ended up being like $100. It's like the movie's like $8. You could just bought it for $8.
I should have bought it.
Yeah, but that happens, man.
I still remember the first DVD I ever owned. My buddy was a security guard at Target, and he was like, "Hey, dude, just come in and grab a bunch of shit and walk out with it, and then I'm gonna act like I'm gonna chase you, and then I'm gonna fall, and then you just take off with everything, right?" And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And so I went to Target and I'm like, what do I want? And I saw right there the fucking Fight Club DVD, like the brown. It was like a brown package, like it was packaged out. I was like, boom. Looking ran out, he trips and falls. And I'm like,
you gotta sacrifice, man. You gotta sacrifice sometimes for Fight Club.
That was technically the first DVD I ever owned was Fight Club. So
was it?
Yeah.
Just imagine he would have set you up like, no, I'll trip. And then he just tackles you down like, I got him.
He gets a fucking raise.
I know. So what is some of the different, like the pros between digital versus hard copy, right? So Jose, I'll go ahead and give it to you first. So in terms of the hard copy, what was some of the benefits you saw that versus digital now?
Well, I think with hard copies, one of the things is it can't be changed or it can't be censored. You know, a lot of times now things will get censored, things will get removed in movies because people are upset at something, or you have, popular characters, things get added to them, like they scream no during a scene and pisses everyone off. You know what I'm talking about, Dan.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like that. So that's an advantage. It's like once you get that VHS or that DVD, like that's it. That's set how it is. It can't be changed at all. So you get a lot of that original vision sometimes of things. So since I was on the subject, take Star Wars, for example. You know, you buy a newer Star Wars movies now, it's not going to be the same as if you got the original because so much has been changed since then. And then the other aspect of it is the collectible aspect of it. Like Kevin, our friend, he enjoys getting VHS for the collectible aspect of it. Even if you don't watch it, it's just like, put as decor or like, hey, look what I got, or, that. So that aspect, I think, is some of the advantages for the hard copy.
Yeah. How about you, Chuck? I'll give you digital. What are some of the pros you see with going digital versus the hard copy?
It's going to take me about 10 seconds to get the movie on. That's, and I get what Jose's saying. But yeah, like for me, it's just the effort. I'm not going to lie. It's the effort, like if you told me right now, hey, get your Fight Club DVD, I'd be like, fuck. Okay. Now I'm moving shit. Like, and like I said, knowing me, Never Been Kissed is in there, like I'm going to open it up and that's what's going to be in there, because knowing me, I didn't put the right one fucking in there. And by the way, that was a little Easter egg. Do you guys know about that?
What?
The original DVD for Fight Club, when you put it on, it shows Never Been Kissed. So it kind of tricked everybody into thinking it was that movie, and then it messes up and then it comes on.
I didn't know that.
Hey.
At that time, Edward Norton, I think, was with Drew Barrymore, and they kind of...
Nice.
Anyway, so digital, yeah. So it's just easier, dude. Just convenient, which is why, like I said, like I ended up purchasing everything that I already had hard copies of because I was like, I'm not going to be getting up looking for this shit and putting it in there and like, yeah. So that for me is just easier.
No, for
That-
sure. And I think with a little bit of that as well, it's like you have convenience. Like it's not just a convenience, but you also have like a plethora of choices you can choose from. And with digital, with hard copies, you have to spend anywhere from $10 to $20. You have a new movie. This one, you can either buy them cheaper, you can stream them, you can get streaming services. It's now a whole collection of just browsing and going through thousands and thousands of movies that you never even necessarily needed to own, all for
Yeah.
the cost of like $8.99 per
Yeah,
month.
and I'll switch it up too. Like I'll watch like 20 minutes of something and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch this now. And then I'll just boom, it's on. If I try to do that with my hard copies, I'm like, all right, let me
You already
look
bought
first.
it.
Yeah,
You already
you're
bought
stuck.
it. You're stuck watching this
Yeah.
shitty movie that you just bought
Yeah.
with Drew Barrymore in it. It's like, fuck. All right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
a
But
bad,
it's-
a ba- oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say the bad part. So
Yeah, no, saying that, but I was just gonna agree with kind of what you're saying. You mentioned the displacement of DVDs sometimes and like the VHS, and that used to happen, or even when you let people borrow them. I still have it somewhere on one of my computers. I created a Word document of like all like my DVDs. And I would just like check it off if I like lent it to someone. That way I would know.
this is a
Oh,
list still that I have of people who have my DVDs.
Why is my name on there twice?
Disturbia, my nephew, right? Disturbia, Friday Night Lights, 500 Days of Summer, Minority Report, Limitless, and video games, LA Noir. I don't even know I had that. So, this fucker has my Watchmen movie.
Time to hunt some people down.
That's what I'm saying, man. That list is too long, dude.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know.
And I'm totally OCD about my stuff. So all my stuff is like alphabetized. And when people would borrow whatever, they come over and they take a movie. If it's not placed correctly, I'd spend like a Saturday fucking
You
just
take
going
everything
through.
down, put it back
Dude,
up.
it does. And I used to like move so much where like there was a point where I was moving like every 8 months, it felt like, and I had to pack them up, put them in boxes, take them somewhere else, redo it. And it was annoying, man. My OCD didn't like it.
Yeah, that's the other positive of digital is the space saving.
Yeah, man.
You can literally hold it all on a hard drive. So like
Yeah.
you don't even need to take up that much space with it.
Mhm.
And I think one of the other things doesn't get mentioned too much is you don't get scratches. You don't have to do tracking like you did with like some of the old like VHSs. You don't have to worry about like dirty tape or smudges or anything like that. It's always gonna play with no problems at all.
What do
So
you mean by
that's
dirty tapes?
We know, Chuck. We know. I think the
yeah.
audience
You
knows.
said smut or smudge?
Smudge.
He looked at me and he looked at me and said smudge, and he looked at you and said
It's a
smudge.
Well, you guys had this thing like
Smut.
that video, and we were like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "You know what I'm
It was-
talking about, Dan?" And I'm like,
It's a Star Wars reference.
"Sure it was, dude. Sure, it was
Exactly.
Star
That's what we
Wars."
call the Jar Jar Binks, and for the
Yeah.
streaming audio, I'm doing air quotes for Jar Jar. Yes.
But that is interesting that you do yours by ABC order. Mine is by, I even have it inside of the case. It's by genre. Is how I split mine, not by ABC order. Do you have a method, Chuck?
Autobiographical.
No, you don't. Shut up. That is a lie. You go genre, color coordination, and then alphabetize.
Yeah.
Autobiographical.
My last name's ABC order of the art director.
Yeah. It's always dude, art directors don't get enough love. So we go all by art directors. Absolutely. So where are some of the best sources you guys still get hard copies? Do you guys still get hard copies? When was the last time you guys bought an actual DVD or a Blu-ray physically that you can hold?
The last one I bought, but it was a joke, kind of in a way, was I bought like 10 copies of Blood In, Blood Out, and I gave them out to people for Christmas. But like, when I should have kept one too, I'm kind of pissed. Anyways,
When was this?
been years. Yeah,
So
it's
a couple
been
years that you did that. Okay.
Yeah, it's been years, dude. I was thinking about this before we came on, where I was like, what is the last one that I got? I don't even know, dude. Like, man, it's been a long time, so
Okay.
I have no idea.
How about you, Jose?
The last one that I got was the Dark Knight Blu-ray.
Dude, I was just gonna
Nice.
say that. I think that's the last one I got too.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
that's the last hard copy. What about you, Dan?
For me, it was a couple years ago, and it was. Can you guys guess?
Frozen.
Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction,
uh,
Star Wars.
you're close with Pulp Fiction. I'll put it
Reservoir
that way.
Dogs.
Nope. Newer.
Hey from Late.
Newest.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep. So with Tarantino movies, minus like maybe 2 of his movies, I own hard copies of all of them because I like watching the bonus features and all that stuff. And there's just something about it. You know, I like just watching it. But that was the last one I watched, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Before that, I can't even think of it. Maybe some kind of Batman movie or something. Maybe it was probably one of those, but I just don't do it anymore, man. There's no point. If I looked at it, it's probably a disgusting amount of money that I spent on my DVD and Blu-ray collection. Like, honestly, like it's disgusting. I had way too many movies. At one point, I was proud of it until one day there was just a little click where I looked at it and I was like, this is kind of sad. I've invested way too much money in this. And there's digital. And at first I was kind of like one of those old heads that I was like, no, the digital thing, like what happens if, your PlayStation breaks? It's not going to exist. It's like, yes, it still exists on your account. I didn't wrap my head around that. I was like, no. If this device gets broken, that's it. It doesn't exist anymore. No, it does. And I've gotten used to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then one of my buddies was telling me, and he's so full of shit. I don't know what to think, but he's like, you don't own those movies, right? Because I will buy them on Apple TV. He's like, you don't own them. He's like, you can just take them away at any time. And I thought, maybe. I mean, I guess they could. And like,
Make me.
I will say this: till this day, if I walk through a Best Buy, if I walk like through the electronics section of a Target, or anything that stuff, I still get that itch. I walk by like DVDs and stuff. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna buy it, but I'm tempted. I'm tempted to get it. It's that old urge because I remember,
yes.
like, again, when I was in high school, college, it was like a constant thing.
It's like a heroin addict, right?
Yeah.
Like you're done with the heroin or meth, whatever you're into, and you're just like, you see someone smoking meth right there, and you're like, I think I want to hit. And it's funny you say that because I was at Vaughn's the other day. I was leaving, and right there they had like Ghostbusters Afterlife, and you're right. I looked. I was like,
yeah, I thought you were gonna say someone offered you heroin.
Yeah, I'll get on digital. Yeah.
Dude, and that's the thing. It's like you still get addicted even when if you ever go to a Walmart, like you find those discount bins. I still look, even though I have no intention of ever buying them. It's just kind of perusing and seeing if there's a good movie. All I ever do is look and say, you know what, I do kind of miss watching that movie, and then I just go home and stream it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't buy it.
I think what doesn't help, and you guys let me know if you agree or not, is that the hard copies are at a disadvantage right now. One, because of all the things that we pointed out. It isn't as efficient for people. It isn't as easily accessible for people. On top of it, because they can so easily just get something digital with just a click of a button. But then on top of that, the price is never adjusted according to some of these Blu-rays, DVDs are still, up at $20 something when they come out, where you can that's what it'll cost you for an entire, a month of subscription of HBO Max. And you can see a lot of those movies on there repeatedly over and over again. Yeah. So that's something they never adjusted. If anything, I think Blu-rays even got more expensive. So what do you guys think can be done to make hard copies, besides the people that like collecting, more enticing for those, to sell it more to the masses?
To me, the biggest thing is the bonus features. The bonus features have to be awesome, and then there has to be almost like an NFT quality to it, right? And meaning by owning this thing, you get some special privileges. That's the only way to really do it, I think, because otherwise it really makes no sense to do it. Because if you're popping in a Blu-ray and you're watching digital, it's literally the exact same thing. You're watching the exact same thing. It's the Blu-ray. You have to offer me something with this hard copy that I cannot get with the digital copy. That's the only thing I could think of. But even then, $20, $22, $25, like, you do HBO Max, because it's cheaper. And then you get all these movies that come with it, man. It's just a cost value basis versus what you get. It just doesn't equate to me.
Yeah, even offering an NFT. Like if you bought the Batman on
Yeah.
like hard copy, it's like you get an NFT of the Batman, which I do
Mhm.
have some of those too, by the way, from like AMC. Did you guys get those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like you're saying, Chuck, it's kind of playing into the collectible aspect of it. Because you mentioned earlier with like the books and like the comics that I get. So I get a lot of my comics digital for reading purposes because I have them all on the Fire,
Right.
and I could just read them all. But any comics that I want to collect, things that I think in the future might be worth something, those I buy the hard copies and I keep them stored and I never touch them. So there's that collectible aspect still drives me to buy some of the
Right.
hard copies. And then I satiate my need to read all these comics by getting digital without like destroying my bank account.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like it's just not worth it, but I will say this though, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but when you purchase the movies digitally, they have the special features on there. I don't know if there's all of them are on there the same as the Blu-ray, but they are though, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So now I have a special game time for you guys. This is something that both of you guys have no idea what this game is. I just wanted to make it kind of fun. And it's going to be Jose versus Chuck. Same thing. Loser has to Loser has to watch and live tweet what the winner selects. Deal?
Hey, what the fuck, dude? You still haven't done the Phantom Menace yet. I'm not doing this shit if I lose.
I'm gonna be doing okay, fine. I'll do it first, and then this is this is on the queue. Okay.
Sorry.
The game is very simple. Which famous actors that turned down iconic roles? Very first question: Django Unchained.
Will Smith.
We're gonna start off very easy.
I got the point. Yep. Will Smith.
Okay, so you both say Will Smith.
I said it first.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna
this is what I'm talking about. Fuck.
Wait. Okay. Second one, La La Land. Okay, Mia, who's played by Emma Stone. So, okay, Mr. Cocky,
Okay.
you know who it was? Or I'm gonna give you the multiple choice. You don't gonna give you the multiple choice.
Fine, go.
Okay. A. Margot Robbie. B. Anne Hathaway. C. Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
Okay, both right so far. Shawshank Redemption. Andy, played by Tim Robbins. Was it A. Dustin Hoffman, B. Daniel Day-Lewis, or C. Tom Hanks?
Dustin Hoffman.
You both wait. He said Dustin Hoffman. You said who?
Hoffman.
You're both wrong. It was Tom Hanks. You guys gotta stop picking the same answer. Titanic, Rose, Kate Winslet. Was it A. Gwyneth Paltrow, B. Winona Ryder, or C. Cameron Diaz?
Winona Ryder.
Cameron Diaz.
You're both wrong. It was Gwyneth Paltrow.
I
I told you we're gonna all get it, Mr. Cocky. Oh, we're gonna get it all. It's like, no, you're not. The Godfather. Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino. Was it A. Kevin Costner, B. Jack Nicholson, or C. Joe Pesci?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yep, you're both right.
I said it first. I got to get points for beating him, right?
I have bonus points. Okay, so at the end, if it's tied, we're gonna do bonus points. The Silence of the Lambs. Clarice, played by Jodie Foster. Was it A. Michelle Pfeiffer, B. Julia Roberts, or C. Susan Sarandon?
Susan Sarandon.
Pfeiffer.
You said Pfeiffer. You said Susan Sarandon. The answer is Jose.
Fuck.
So now he's in the lead.
Oh,
that's a big point too, because we're like,
yeah, it is.
Were you first, Chuck?
Yeah, I was actually.
Okay, American Psycho. Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale. Was it A. Nicolas Cage, B. Ed Norton, or C. Leo DiCaprio?
Norton.
What?
Norton.
DiCaprio.
Norton, DiCaprio. It was DiCaprio. So it's so far you guys are tied. Okay, Taxi Driver. The character that played Travis, which is Robert De Niro. Was it A. Al Pacino, B. Mel Gibson, or C. Harrison Ford?
Al Pacino.
Pacino.
Yes. Okay, so far it's tied. 9. Forrest Gump, played by Tom Hanks. Was it A. Robin Williams, B. Kevin Spacey, or C. John Travolta?
Williams.
Williams.
You're both wrong. It was John Travolta.
That was a strategic answer right there because I was like, I don't know who it is, so I'm just gonna pick what you pick because I won't lose a point.
Number 10, The Matrix, Neo.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Wait, that's not one of the answers, sir.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
A, Christian Bale. B, Brad Pitt. C, Tom Cruise.
Cruise.
Brad Pitt.
It was Brad Pitt.
Oh fuck
Chuck.
yeah.
Let's just have fun with the bonus points then, okay?
All right, go.
Can you name other actors that was considered for Neo? First one to answer now.
It was Will Smith.
Yep. Okay. Who else?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep. Chuck. Who else? There's 3 more. If you want me to give you hints, I'll give you hints. Nope.
Tom Cruise.
Nope. Okay. One of them was he was in The Rock.
Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Fucking
Another
Chuck.
one. Another one played Batman.
Val Kilmer.
Yep. Now that we're done with the game, so Chuck wins. So
Chuck,
what,
you are going to watch.
No, you know what? I am not gonna be a dickhead like Dan and make you watch Gilmore Girls. I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna put gold in your eyeballs. You have to watch the first 2 episodes of Kingdom.
God damn it, you got me.
Yeah.
Those aren't bad. It's a pretty decent show. Okay.
Oh,
So we got a live stream
Wow.
at Not a Strong Start, our Twitter feed. So you can go ahead and see Jose. We'll go ahead and promote it on our Instagram page. So you got to follow us on the Instagram in order to be able to see when we're going to be live streaming that.
Unlike Dan, I will do it this week.
I will do mine this week as well. So I guess it'll be back-to-back nights. Okay, guys. So what's on the queue? What do you guys got?
They should watch Kingdom. They should watch Kingdom, the MMA show. It's on Peacock. Watch it. It's so fucking good. You will not regret it. And watch Moon Knight.
Oh. One of my favorite like sci-fis, I would say Minority Report. Put it on your queue. You haven't watched it. Very underrated sci-fi.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies that I have in my DVD collection.
Nice. That's a good one.
Choice. Good choice.
That's a good one.
Daniel?
For me, it's going to be Severance. Why? Because I recommended it to you guys. And I've been telling everybody about this damn show because it's so good. And the season finale, like what I was telling Jose, is that reminds me of like the good parts of Lost, where I was like, man, this is really good. Where's the show going to go? The season finale was amazing. It was one of the best I've seen in a while, like in the last couple of years. I'm excited about Severance, man. Ben Stiller brought it. Got to give him his props. So please watch Severance. It's The Office meets Lost. That's basically the best way to describe it.
Oh, it's interesting comparison. I can see that so far.
Yeah, I didn't like either of those shows. Yeah, I'll check it out though.
Chuck, you made it. Not one freeze this entire episode. Did you upgrade?
And he froze.
I can see your eye twitching, Chuck.
I think I'm actually gonna stop it right there when you just freeze. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right. Other than that, guys, you can go ahead and follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at Not a Strong Start. I am your host, Daniel de Sangre. You can follow me at King_Sangre, SANGRE.
Jose Ramos. You can follow me on Instagram at This Is Mi Nombre.
And I'm Chuck. You can follow me at Ep.12 at Instagram.
Yep. Please watch us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Please rate us on all the streaming platforms. Give us as much love as possible and give us free promotion because we need it. Thank you.